Hello guys, welcome back to this channel. Today we are reviewing the third episode of Hawkeye. It's called Echoes, and so far probably the best episode, I'm not gonna lie. Coming up from the last episode, they got captured, and we see a follow-up to that, sort of, I guess. Well, yeah. And then comes a fun little car chase, and then we have just a bunch of dialogue before they try to break into the Bishop family home, I guess. So there's a decent amount of stuff that happens in this episode. So far, it's definitely my favorite. Episode 2 was quite good, but I just prefer this one because it's been more of a Hawkeye episode. Episode 2, I feel like, was a bit more, and episode 1 especially, were more Kate Bishop centric. But this episode is a complete Hawkeye episode. And I think that's really nice. I think also the nice thing about this show so far is that I think the first 2 episodes it wasn't quite there. But in this episode, the dynamic between Kate and Hawkeye was I think much better here. And I think overall, I think so far I'm enjoying it, the show. So that's kind of my overall thoughts. Now let's move into how do I think the show is playing out. So I think as a whole, the show, it's playing out very oddly. And it's a weird, like, Falcon and the Soldier has, and this I've so far had the same problems with. The story hasn't quite gotten going yet. Like, it has gotten going, but the problem is, and we know what the threat is, but we don't really know what their plan is. And as a whole, I think this is gonna be like Falcon and the Soldier, where I think this one's gonna be better. Because the thing with this compared to that is that one, my expectations were sky high. I was expecting to be better than stuff like Civil War, and it disappointed the hell out of me. But here, I think this one will be good. I think the whole show will be at least good. I don't know about great, but at least we'll put in like the very enjoyable tier or the good tier. One of the two. Whenever I do another tier list or ranking or whatever. So, yeah. And so, overall, that's kind of how I feel. And now we have the good. So, as a whole, I think I'm really enjoying so much of this. I enjoyed so much of this episode. As I said, the dynamic between Kate and Hawkeye is fantastic. First 2 episodes, I mean, you didn't really see them yet in the first episode. But the second episode, their dynamic is alright. But then in the third episode, things become much better between the two of them. And I think it's great. But I wish as a whole they got together. Because I feel like the problem is this should have been 7 episodes, maybe not 6 episodes. Or maybe even 10 episodes. Because this one, compared to the other Marvel Disney Plus shows, feels like an actual TV show. Those feel more like miniseries, but this feels like a TV. What If also feels like a TV show, but this I think is so far could be a great TV show. I've not really seen much of the what's it called, the Marvel Netflix shows. I haven't seen Daredevil, Luke Cage, whatever. I haven't seen any of them. Maybe after Arrowverse I get around to them. Speaking of, I'm doing an X-Men binge watch. I need a break from Arrowverse, which I have gotten one. I'm kind of on and off with the Arrowverse, so I know about that. So as a whole, this episode's quite entertaining. Like, it's always fun, and there's some very weird camera movement where it's just doing in 360 through the car. And it's really weird and disorienting, but it's fine, I guess. I don't really much thoughts on that. I just find it to be it makes me a little dizzy watching that first part of the car chase. And as a whole, I just think the action sequences are much better in this episode than they were in the first 2. And I really like that so far. So, and I think the Echo character I'm starting to like, or whatever her name is, Maya, I think she's a pretty interesting character. I heard we're getting a spin-off, and I think that's what that spinoff is what this character is for. Or, sorry, this character is for that spinoff. That's what I meant to say. So, Kate Bishop, she's still a fun character. Not much development on her. I don't even think Vera Farmiga showed up in this episode at all. I don't even think the other person, what's his name? I don't know what the actor's name is, but with the long mustache. I have to look up the actor's name. But he showed up not at all until the end. So this is clearly a more Hawkeye-centric episode. And the whole thing with... I wish they kind of developed the whole thing with Hawkeye being deaf in one ear. I wish they developed that a bit more. They did practically nothing. So that's kind of frustrating. They just tell us that. It's done. We're fine. That's all I'll say. So, yeah. That's about how I feel. Yeah, I'm gonna move on to the mixed. Starting out the mixed, I'm gonna be honest, the score of this episode, I understand it's playing some Christmas carols, but I'm not Catholic or Christian or anything like that, so I've no relation to any of it, so it doesn't interest me. That's probably just me, but it's not even that, like, the car chase, the score in it, especially near the beginning of it, is so weird, like, it's just weird. Other than that, I mean, I think it did improve on one of my problems with but like at the same time, there's not much I really like about the score, or too much I dislike, except for during the car chase. I don't know, I'm in a weird place with that. And as a whole, I've noticed that Kate Bishop as a character, I think she's really fun. She lightens the tone. She lightens the show quite a bit. And this is actually a much darker episode than the first two. The first two were very lighthearted for the most part. This episode's a bit darker. I wouldn't say it's completely dark, but it's darker than the first two, that's for sure. And I think it works. Nice correlation between light tone and dark tone. This episode, I think, continued that nice correlation between the two tones. And yeah, I don't have much else to say about that. The bad. And so far, as I mentioned, I feel like the story is in a weird spot because I feel like they were just waiting for something big to happen, and so far nothing has happened yet. I feel like what happens is there ends up being a big twist 2/3 of the way in the show, but for some shows that works, like WandaVision that worked, Loki that worked, here not so much, and Falcon and Winter Soldier as well. Well, Falcon and Winter Soldier didn't work. Here, hopefully it works. That's what I'll say. So, and it's in a weird spot because I'm in a weird place right now for this show. Because on one hand, I'm enjoying the characters. This is kind of the same. I'm in the same place as Falcon and Winter Soldier, but I think I just enjoy this a little more. I'm in pretty much the same place with the characters. I'm enjoying them. I kind of like the idea of Hawkeye kind of going off an adventure and trying to get home for Christmas. But there's a bunch of storyline. I think this is probably the same problem as Falcon and Winter Soldier. So far we have 3 main storylines. Hawkeye trying to get back to his family for Christmas, the whole Echo storyline, and all the stuff with Kate Bishop. And they all seem to be, and I think they're only able to fit 2 of them in each episode. So it's just, on one hand, it works, but on the other hand, they're kind of juggling a bit too much. So, I don't know. But as a whole, I would say I am enjoying the show. I'm having a great time. This is my favorite of the 3 episodes for sure. A lot of great action. And I think Hawkeye is a great character. So is Kate Bishop for that matter. And I'm just really enjoying it. So, I guess that's about it. Tell me what you thought about this episode in the comments below. The show in general. How would you rank each 3 episodes? I'd say 1, 2, 3 from worst to best so far. And as a whole, I'm really enjoying it. Hope you enjoyed it too. And so, yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and comment down below. And I'll see you guys next time. Adios.